Shalom, Kahalayim Le Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Wahawar Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of GMS who rule well, who I learned this truth from. And salutations and blessings to you elect out there, starting with the 144,000 on down. And this lesson is going into another crime of you Edomites, alright? Messing up the earth, defiling the earth, destroying the earth. All right, extracting its natural oil. All right, so I asked chat pretty much what is the harm of extracting oil and pretty much the purpose of the oil, right? There's a purpose of the oil in the earth, right? You're not supposed to extract what Esau also falsified, right? Fraudulently labeled fossil fuels, which is complete fraud. There's oil all over the earth, right? It's not some rare extraction that he has bamboozled the world into thinking, right? Everything, this is pretty much a petroleum-based society, okay? Gas stations, cars, all this shit, what do you call it? Train fuel, airplane fuel, right? Aviation, you know, all this mess that we could have had a much different life in general, right? There's natural energy, geo energy, okay? There's all kinds of energy. There's magnetic energy. Anyway, so it says harms to the earth from removing its oil, geological and energetic imbalance. Oil and gas are part of Earth's deep circulatory system. They're stored in layers that help regulate pressure, temperature, and lubrication within the crust. When we extract massive amounts, pressure systems shift. Large-scale drilling changes subsurface pressure dynamics, which can trigger sinkholes, micro-earthquakes, and fault destabilization. Lubrication loss. Oil may act as a lubricant for tectonic movements. Removing too much can stiffen crustal plates, increasing friction and seismic strain. Thermal and magnetic impact. Hydrocarbons influence how heat and electromagnetic fields move through rock. Stripping these layers alters how the planet vents and balances internal heat. So this place is all jacked up, man. All right, we've been, or you Edomites have been extracting oil for over 100 years now. What is it, the late 1800s with Rockefeller? Okay, and you have again tricked and deceived the world into thinking, yes, this is just how life is and we need this to power this and that, when you could have made different vehicles, all kinds of different industries based on natural healing energy, things that are actually in the air. You know, they already showed you that there's electricity, there's magnetism in the air, there's all kinds of energy. When you were in a goddamn grade 3 science class, I remember you put the voltage in the potato, okay, the two needles, and you got a volt, and you got a current, you got a voltage, energy in a potato, right? So there's all kinds of energy, man. If you're talking about just a potato, there's all kinds of free natural energy around us, right? And this is, again, going into this defiled place, man, brought to you by E primarily. Okay, you other nations helped as well. You bought into his madness. Isaiah 24:4, the earth mourneth. See, the earth is mourning, man. It's got its head down. Okay, it's in a depressive state. The earth, the ecosystems, the trees, the birds, the animals, they're mourning, right? They're very intuitive. They feel a lot, right? That's why when the big storm's coming, you see a flock of birds fleeing. You see the squirrels going up in the trees, and all these animals just, they feel it. They're very emotional. Not emotional, but intuitive. They deal with energy, right? And they know that this place is just bugged out, man. This place is gone, okay? The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish, and you are languishing, you Edomites. It says in the NLT, even the greatest people on earth waste away. Okay, you are, just like Amalek, you are the first of the nations. You are the greatest of the people, but you are wasting away, and you are the waste. You are wasted away, right? Ironically, verse 5: the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Okay, this place is gone. The earth is defiled, man. That's what the apostles say. Even the organic food is all defiled. It's just the best of the worst. Okay? It's just showing that you care about your body more than these regular peons, that you get certain things, you know? You got your spices, your cinnamon, your ginger, you got your herbs. You know, you take your different supplements because we care for our temple, man. We're trying to not feel so terrible in this flesh. Right? So going back here, so ecosystem disruption, oil spills and leaks. And you already know, I remember years ago, over a decade ago, what happened to that big ass Florida spill, the oil spill? Who's accountable for that? Who did they charge? Okay? Who did they make pay for? And you can't really make anyone pay, because look how much wildlife you destroyed, man. How much gallons, millions of gallons of oil spills in the ocean. You know? Toxic to marine life, coral reefs, and soil organisms for decades. Groundwater contamination, fracking fluids, and drilling waste seep into aquifers, introducing benzene, toluene, and other toxins. Habitat loss, drilling destroys vast areas of forest, tundra, and ocean shelf ecosystems. Now here's a point: spiritual or energetic harm. Many earth-based traditions view oil as the blood of the planet. Removing and burning it en masse is symbolically similar to bleeding out Earth's life force. And this just makes me think of Revelations 11, right? Revelation chapter 11, right? This is 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged. The dead is who? You other nations. You're dead to your nationality. You don't know who the hell you are. And your time of judgment is coming, right? And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, starting with you Edomites. Top primary nation of the dead nation that's going to be judged is you Edomites. Okay, along with the other nations. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. In the NLT, that last point reads, it is time to destroy all who have caused destruction on the earth, man. And this man will have you believe, oh yeah, we have Earth Hour, and you got to be environmentally friendly, climate, you know, you can think about the climate change, and you know, you got to do this. When this man's industries, he's blaming the poor. He's blaming us poor ass regular people paying taxes. You know, the majority of people don't make over 30,000 a year, you know, barely making 25,000. I'm talking about Canadian. You know, they're blaming you. You're the problem. You leave your lights on too long. You know, you got the tap running when you're brushing your teeth. Close the tap. Save the water. I remember that bullshit in grade 6, 7. You know, grade 6 is, save the tap water. Close the tap. I'm thinking, yeah. Save the water. When the majority of the earth is water, you morons. And you're the ones defiling the fucking water. You know? Fuck you devils, man. You know? You guys are just a fucking pestilence, man. You're a nuisance on this fucking planet. On this beautiful Eden. This was Eden, bro. Now it's industrialization, steel, metal everywhere, scrap, plastic everywhere, in the air, microplastics, you're breathing it in, it's in your water. But we're the problem. You guys are on your fucking private jets, yachts, doing Lord knows what underground. Okay, cities all doing all kinds of shit. But the poor are, you know, the poor is the problem. Jake is the problem. You know, fuck you devils, man. All right. So look, carcinogenic, or actually see back here it says, draining her vitality to power machines rather than harmony. Energetically, this aligns the rise of imbalance, greed, exhaustion, and disconnection from the natural world. And guess what? This man has nothing to do with organic, natural health. Okay, he's just death. He's the red horse. He was made to take peace from the earth, man. That's heavy. If you are the spirit, the nation, and your task is to take peace from the earth, bro, you know, you are the wicked. You are the wicked. Okay, carcinogenic and toxic effects on people. Raw petroleum contains dozens of hazardous chemicals. During refining and combustion, it releases compounds proven to cause cancer and cellular damage. Benzene, strongly linked to leukemia and bone marrow disorders. Okay, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons (PAHs) found in soot cause lung, skin, and bladder cancer. Formaldehyde, toluene, xylene irritate organs, disrupt hormones, damage DNA. Volatile organic compounds contribute to smog and oxidative stress. Okay, so fuel, air pollution, that's a given. We already know about air pollution. So let me go. That was some info on just what happens when you remove the oil from the earth. What happens to the earth? But then I asked, what about everyday people? How does this damage us? How does this benefit us? So it says soil contamination, right? Oil drilling and spills leave behind heavy metals, drilling muds, hydrocarbons, and chemical residues. Soil becomes less fertile, decreasing crop yields. And this man doesn't give a shit. He doesn't keep the land Sabbath. Even when this world was natural in the 16, 17, 1800s, right around the turn of the Industrial Revolution, right in the late 18, 1900s, he didn't keep the land Sabbath. You know, he mixed he was mingling seeds and trying to do this and cross pollinate that, you know, creating hybrid foods. Okay, it says plants absorb toxins, people and livestock eat these contaminated plants. That's why it don't matter about organic. Oh, we didn't spray pesticides on this. No, but it's coming up from the fucking earth, and it's sipping down. It's dripping down from the heavens, man, from the sky. Never mind the chemtrails. That's a whole different topic. But I'm talking about just from the. I'll never forget it. The hydrological cycle. Okay, when water evaporates and then it rains and comes down. You had a term years ago called acid rain. All that stuff in the rain, right? As the rain drops from the atmosphere down to the ground, right? That rain, that water, it absorbs all the toxins, and then it's just watering your fruits, your vegetables. Madness, man. Root vegetables, carrots, potatoes, cassava, especially store toxins, and that's a thing that I loved, right? Like carrots, obviously, beets, ginger. These are roots in the ground, and I always said that's good because that'll keep it from the chemtrails. But look, there's no way around this, man. There's no way around it. Everyday effects: higher food prices due to damaged farmland, more reliance on processed imported foods, lower nutritional value in produce grown near oil activity. Waterway contamination. So it says rivers, groundwater, lakes, coastal waters. Chemicals like benzene and toluene dissolve easily, making them invisible but dangerous. Everyday effects: higher cancer rates in communities drawing water near drilling sites. Contaminated fish and seafood entering the market. Household water becomes unsafe for drinking or bathing. Farmers irrigating fields with toxin-laden water. Airborne crop damage. Flaring, burning excess gas, release sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, particulates, which damage plant leaves, reduce photosynthesis, lower fruit yields. Everyday effects: smaller, less healthy produce. Acid rain damaging farmlands and orchards. Bees and pollinators dying from polluted air. Crop failures. Right? Harm to animals, ecosystems, wildlife poisoning. Animals drink polluted water or ingest oil-coated plants. Birds lose waterproofing. Hypothermia. Fish suffer mass die-offs. And we've seen how many years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, you've seen, thousands of fish, float onto the shore dead. All kinds of different sea creatures. Dolphins and all kinds of creatures, man. Pelicans, all kinds of creatures, man, dying off. Thousands just on the shore dead. I remember years. It's just a recurring news feed, right? You don't hear about it too much. They don't report it, but that's what's going on, man. That's how you know the earth is mourning. The earth is suffering. Okay? Mammals develop cancers, reproductive failure. These listen, Animals aren't supposed to get cancer. This is fucking madness. Everyday effects. Fewer fish available to communities. Hunters find diseased or poisoned animals. Local extinction of pollinators. Food scarcity worsens. I'm going to skip down to here. Hidden everyday life impacts most people never notice. Toxic dust and micro residues. Oil extraction releases microparticles that float miles through the air. These settle on rooftops, in gardens, on playgrounds, on clothing and laundry, in houses. Everyday effects: kids inhaling residue while playing outside. Homegrown vegetables containing petroleum dust. Increase asthma, rashes, allergies, nosebleeds. Noise and light pollution. Drilling sites operate 24/7. Everyday effect: migraines and sleep disturbances in nearby towns. Well, that's understandable. Okay. Earthquakes. Wastewater injection from drilling often causes man-made earthquakes. Everyday effects: cracked walls and foundations, higher insurance costs, stress, fear, anxiety. Okay. Hidden dangers hidden in everyday consumer products. Petroleum becomes plastics, coatings, preservatives, dyes, and these release toxins into food packaging, water bottles, makeup, cleaning supplies, clothing, baby products. Everyday effects: microplastics in food and water, hormone disruption, fertility issues, earlier puberty, immune suppression, allergies and chronic inflammation, higher cancer risk over time, chemical exposure in homes. Oil extraction increases the presence of benzene. We read that. Okay. Yeah, weather instability. So at the same time, these devils are causing this stuff, and we know they got more higher devices, higher level devices like HARP. Okay, and different what do they call it? Cloud seeding. You know, all these things mess up the earth. He's trying to play like the Most High, right? Like in the Obadiah, it says, "I will be like the Most High. I will sit upon the throne of the heavens." Roughly paraphrasing. Okay, so let's go here. Long-term human health effects. Communities near drilling face children with higher rates of leukemia, adults with more lung disease, higher birth defects, more autoimmune disease, shorter overall lifespan. This isn't far away. Even if people living hundreds of miles from drilling are affected through air movement, food supply chains, water circulation. Okay. Now here's another point. Social and economic harms. Oil extraction often leads to displacement of indigenous communities. We already know the Gadites, wherever they are in the reserve, there's some demonic company doing something. Uranium, digging out oil, doing some fucking madness, and it pollutes the waterways or the ground and the soil, and everything just gets jacked up. And then that's why a lot of Gadite reserves, they're on boiling water warnings, right? Their community is under a boiling water, meaning you got to boil the water because it's contaminated. You will get sick if you drink it, 100%. Okay? Conflicts over lands, loss of traditional food systems, increased crime and corruption, economic dependence on volatile oil markets. Everyday effects: entire towns collapsing when oil jobs disappear, education and healthcare underfunded, increased poverty in extraction region. Now, this is a good point. Spiritual, psychological, and cultural harms. Extracting oil disrupts connection to land, sense of harmony with nature, community identity, intergenerational traditional knowledge. Everyday effects: more anxiety and depression, loss of cultural food and medicinal plants. Well, guess what? We don't need it, right? Because we got clone meat, we got hybrid, we got fake meat, we got lab grown meat, we got lab grown vegetables, fake eggs. We're good, don't worry about it. Eat the bugs. Okay. They want you to eat less meat anyway by 2030. You're not going to be eating that much things, and it's going to be sooner. The Lord's speeding up the time. Second Ezra says, pray that your days be shortened, and we do pray, okay, that this place is sped up for judgment. Okay. Everyday effects, again, increased violence and substance abuse in impacted areas. All right. So I just wanted to bring that out because, again, that's a thing we don't talk about the oil extraction. It's not a good thing. We're not going to be doing oil extraction in the kingdom. Oil belongs in the earth. Okay? And this man has been given the ability, right, with his technology and devices to extract this oil, fitting into the prophecy of him causing more havoc, destruction, pretty much destroying this earth, this beautiful earth, Eden. Okay, right now it's hell on earth, but it will turn back into Eden. All right, real shortly. Anyway, Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Waharakakurash, Shalom to the elect.